Am I having better vision today? Because it is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Dead Pixels Internet.
Yes, the 2020 edition.
Yeah, welcome to episode 426.
Mm-hmm. The new year.
New year, new decade, new month.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to call it.
With your hosts,
Joe
and Lauren.
We're celebrating it we should.
We celebrating as awesome as the war is coming to a start. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's all. We're already 4 days into 2020, and it's like, oh, World War III. I'm like, World War III?
World War III, like, okay, I understand we live in a theme, but World War III means that everyone has to be involved in this.
Yeah. It's not just called... If it's regular war, then it's just regular war, not World War.
Well, I was like, no. Like, no, slow your horses down. But I understand the hysteria happened. And then people say, oh, no, the draft is going to come. I'm like, you know they aim for you Zoomers out there. Y'all 20-something, Me, I'm about to be 35, so they're not going to
pick us.
They're not going to pick
If
us.
they pick me, I'd be like, okay, what do you want me to do? Look at them?
Yeah, look at them. You want me to be like, yep, they out there on the television screen. That's it. Like, okay, cool. Not fit.
Everyone play Fortnite. They know what they're going to do.
Yeah, they go dance. They go meme.
Yeah.
And then they go get the number one, victory one.
Yeah.
If they play PUBG, they go hide in the bushes until the circle get closed, and then they go attack, and they go be like, yeah, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Or if they play Call of Duty, they go call it airstrike.
Yeah. Just like that. Like, I killed 3 of them. Where's my airstrike?
I killed 3 of them. Where's my UAV? UAV online. Where's my menus at? Oh man, this is hardcore. Oh man.
Oh man, I need my find out where they are.
I know, man. I need my modern grenade so I can drop it if I get killed.
Martyrdom. Wow, that's a fun reference right there.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's kind of what happened. But also is the next new meme of 2020.
Yeah.
The beginning of the decade, we got New Guy 2020, and that's new too. And that's only mostly what I see on Twitter.
But New Guy?
You've never heard of New Guy?
No.
Well, at first it was like one of those comics that started like one of those like, oh, I'm not like other girls type of girls.
Okay.
So she's like looking at her phone, laughing. And then there's a bald guy just says New Guy. He says like, hey, what are you laughing at? And then she says like, oh, some rich gamer dude bro got robbed. It's hilarious. And then he says, hey, that's not right. Like, what if you got robbed? And then she says,
oh, it's a New Guy comic. I want to see.
Yeah.
Okay. And
she's like, oh, I can tell we can be such good friends. And then the guy's like, oh, really? And then she's like, no. I'm like...
She said, hell no.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn. So that's the type of comics I see those comics, and I always cringe at that stuff. I'm just like, oh, that's so bad. But so one guy posted up saying, like, I was going to have a good new year, but since I saw this comic, I'm not going to have a good year anymore. As a joke. Yeah. And people got that. They saw that comic, and they took New Guy, and they made him, like, he's the protagonist of this comic. Because look at him. He was so empathetic. He was like... First, and if you break it down, he's like he's questioning like, oh, what are you doing? Like, he's morally curious, like, oh, what's going on here? And then she says like, oh, this person got robbed, because meaning that's more like the situation of what happened to PewDiePie. And then if you're being happy that someone got robbed, you're just not in the right set of mind. And then he's like, and he's more empathetic. He's just like, hey, that's not right. Like, what if you got robbed? And then when she says like, oh, we're gonna be friends, he says like, oh, really? And it's like a good positive thing. Like, oh, he's more positive about it. Like, we're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna get a new friend today. And then people turn around like, he's the cool guy now, Yeah. And they made it more like, we need to be more like that guy. We need to be more like New Guy 2020. He's just so positive, so good on life. He's empathetic towards people. That's the new age right now. And then there was a whole thing that's happened on Twitter right now, because people are like, oh man, why'd you make fun of her? And then the original guy posted like, I didn't make fun of anyone, I just posted this picture. And people are just giving the worst hot takes I've ever seen about this. I'm just like,
also, bring back Zach Fox on Twitter, please. Bring back him, please. Yes. We need the boy back. Bring the boy home.
Yeah. Anyways, that's That's the hot new meme of 2020. And thank God, freaking Ugandan Knuckles wasn't supposed to come back, and I hated that one so much.
He's gonna be back.
If he's back, I will.
The more people say it, he's gonna be back.
What, unironically or ironically?
Both.
Oh, that's so awful.
Awful waffle.
Oh my God.
Like, that's so awful. A waffle.
This is why we're in the 2020s, all the roaring 20s.
Rolling golden tronies.
Anyways.
Yes.
We are already in January, so that means it's time for the top 10 movies of 2019.
Yes. You say 2020, yes.
Yeah, the only one movie came out was The Grudge, and that was the best one of 2020.
Are you sure it's The Grudge?
Oh, man. That's so sad. Like, The Grudge came out again?
It's a remake, or is it just...
I'm pretty sure it's like one of those weird soft reboots where it's like, it's going to be a sequel, but somewhat of a reboot, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? Who asked for this? No one was asking for The Grudge or anything.
I did.
In Japan, they released The Grudge versus The Ring, which was a freaking weird.
Weird combination, but I wished it. I the one who knocks.
Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go on with our top 10 movies of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some honorable mentions. This is probably the most movies I've ever seen in a year.
Really?
Because I'm average out like 30 movies a year, and then just looking right now with the movies I've seen, it's like around like 45 movies. I'm like
45. Wow.
I'm like
wowie.
And since there was a lot, I was like, I gotta figure out where this one goes. Did I like this one a lot more than this one? Is this one the best one out of this one? I was like, no. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have the 10 plus I'm gonna have honorable mentions, so that way I don't have to worry about like, I actually like this movie a lot, you know. But here's some honorable mentions for y'all. All right, number 1, Shazam. Actually, a very good DC movie, you know. And so far, I think it's the best one out of all of them. Just up until whenever the next one comes out.
Until Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman? I wonder when women were going to be 1984. El Camino. Your boy Aaron Paul does it again with basically it is just a sequel to Breaking Bad. And anytime Vince Gilligan writes anything, you can feel his like intensity of like
his presence.
Yeah. He was the one that made the memes back then with I am the one who knocks. I am the danger, all that stuff right there. And I'm finally glad we got to see a conclusion to
the series.
To the series, yeah. Even though there was already a conclusion, this is another conclusion. It's like an epilogue, which is what it is. It came out like way later after the series ended, and it still is going on with a Better Call Saul. Even though Better Call Saul is kind of like a prequel / kind of happening at the same time as Breaking Bad. But yeah, that's a good one. Next one, Toy Story 4. I thought that was really good. A lot of people did not like Toy Story 4, and I can understand why. But
why they don't like it, sir?
They say like, oh, it should be settled to a better standard. Nothing really happened of significance. I'm like, a lot of stuff kind of did happen in this movie, but I just enjoyed that world. It looks amazing. First of all, I remember everyone keeps saying like, yeah, it does look amazing. Like, I think that should be a good positive because like, you know, if you see the first Toy Story compared to now, it don't look good. But this one looks amazing. It's had a lot of funny moments. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, why continue the story if it ended perfectly? I'm like, yeah, but money. At least they didn't like, you know, half-ass this one. They actually put some effort towards this one right here. Even though like almost 2 people are dead inside that crew.
2 people.
Yeah, Jim Varney, Ernest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. He was the voice of a Slinky Dog.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
Yeah, you forget that. They're like, oh yeah, he's a Slinky Dog. He was dead since part 3. That's the thing.
Yeah, but who did the voice then?
I think it was somebody who did his best impression of, you know,
Jim Varney.
And then Don Rickles, Mr. Potato Head.
Oh yeah,
he's dead.
Good old Don Rickles.
So it's kind of weird. I was like, huh. Like a lot of those characters are now like, yeah, that's sad. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of funny stuff. You got to see Key and Peele do their thing. Got to see what do you call it? Keanu Reeves is it's a national treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him here do his funny stuff, because we had a lot of Keanu Reeves this year.
Mm-hmm.
We had him inside the beginning of around the beginning with John Wick. Then we had the summer with this one, and don't call me what's that?
What?
Call Me Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. Here where he had a small cameo.
Okay.
And Always Be My Maybe or whatever. And then we had him inside Cyberpunk, which was in the mid-year, and then later again this year when he's like, oh, he's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah, and everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Good for him. I'm glad that he's, being a cool guy now. The next one, Promare, which is just an anime movie. There was also some kind of controversy happening with this one because they have these special things happening in Japan, where it's called the Scream screening, where the audience gets super into what's happening on screen, and they have like kind of like how we have our the Room screenings. If something happens on screen, everyone screams spoon. If someone says this one thing, everyone screams, "What do you mean?" That stuff, And they have that for anime movies over there. And they had for this one, they had it in California, and one of the people I follow on Twitter was like, he didn't even know he was going to go to a Scream screening. That's the thing. Like, if they had that, they should have bought the entire screening for themselves. But he had to. That was the first time he wanted to watch that movie, and it got ruined because everyone was screaming and all that stuff. I was like, damn. I watched it with a okay set of people. They weren't screaming or anything, but I love the animation for this one. It's a really good, feast for the eyes.
Gotcha.
Next one, Spider-Man. Yeah, I know I'm not going to put that on there. Like, I like that movie, but I'm not going to say it's one of the best of this year. It still is a fun thing to me. Like, I watched it probably like 2 or 3 times this year. Because it's just, a good story with Spider-Man in it. Next one is Art of Self-Defense. It was actually like, oh, okay, I like that one a lot. Only because, it was different. It was new, and you got some funny little jokes out of it. Last one is I just recently watched this one too, which is like a Marriage Story, which is on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a story about divorce between Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, that movie.
And they act the hell out of this one right here. And people are like, oh, we finally can take Adam Driver and Scarlett Jo seriously. I'm like, yeah, you always
could take those actors and actresses seriously.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, they've always done good work, but this one continues because you see them more in like the whole Disney part of it, which is the Star Wars and Marvel stuff. You just forget, like, they're good actors, man. Even though I don't know, I think Adam Driver just looks kind of weird. He's like 6 foot tall. He came from the
Lanky.
Navy.
Yeah. Just
and then
lanky looking dude.
And then like you see that one meme of him like from The Last Jedi, where he's shirtless, and that was a big meme too because like he looks like he's supposed to be buff, but he's not. He's just kind of like wide.
Just with wide frame.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I was like.
But what about your honorable dismentions?
I don't know. What's the honorable dismentions? I can tell you right now. Okay. The Lion King. I was just like, why is this even? Why? It was one of those Invader Zim. I'm like, I get it. The animation is great, but I just don't care for this freaking style of humor.
Aladdin.
Aladdin was like, I'd like it a little bit more than Lion King, only because like at least they can emote.
Yeah.
Even those 2 movies were just like, there's nothing different about them. If you've seen the originals, it's the same thing, except there's like 1 or 2 new scenes. Jasmine has her own song now. They completely butchered Be Prepared with Scar. Like he didn't have a song. Why? Godzilla, King of the Monsters was another dishonorable mismention, which I'm just like, it was okay for what it is, but man, it had the worst plot I've ever seen for these types of movies.
Rambo?
Rambo. I mean, it wasn't bad, What do you think? I mean, if reflecting on it now, you think it was bad?
It was a dumb action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It just pretty much, the ending kind of helped me, like,
Yeah.
like, Okay, like first off, it's just the story was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Is kind of dumb. There was certain things I think of Rambo. Like, okay, why were you like, okay, I listened to you, Rambo, and then it's I'll go to Mexico by myself. Mexico by myself. Everything else, I spoiled for you guys, but
who cares? It's Rambo.
It's Rambo. But yeah, his quote unquote daughter dies. The kid he was taking care of. But also just like, okay, Rambo was supposed to be smart as hell. He's supposed to be a tactician. But when you see him get beat up by by those Mexican cartel people, and he knew he was getting watched, he'd be like, "What the fuck you doing, Rambo? I thought he was a tactician."
Yeah.
I don't thought he'd go come up with some slick shit, but he let himself get caught. So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, Rambo.
This is like you see, like, oh, how hard is he gonna get this one? Oh, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
I was like, you're supposed to be a very smart tactician guy, and also think about all the Rambo movies I saw. You see him get hurt, but not hurt like this.
Yeah.
So it'd be like,
that shows your age in this one.
Yeah, it does show my age. It
also I mean, he shows his age.
It shows the age, but it's just like, even the last Rambo movie. Do you remember Rambo getting hurt?
Rambo 4, you mean?
Yeah, Rambo 4 or John Rambo.
No, I don't think he did. Not in that one.
Yeah, and this one he got like seriously got beat up, pummeled, and like towards the end, like got shot. Like what? Really? What?
Yeah.
Like, okay, and then the ending kind of like, is he dead or he's alive? Is he just sitting there like
the last blood, meaning like, oh, this is the last one. Like, he didn't set up to look like it was the last.
Yeah,
blood. It was just we could still make another one.
Mm-hmm. We can still make another one and everything else, and it just felt like,
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't see any other movie. It's just
Little Monsters was kind of lame. People liked it, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Underground 6 and. That was okay. The intro action scene was cool. Everything else was kind of like, this is just.
I remember rewatching the trailer of it, and I was going to watch it, but just like, this is like a generic Michael Bay movie.
It kind of is.
And I'm just like,
dumb. But the worst one this year was LaQuisha. That did not feel like it was a movie. It was like a weird skit I saw. I'm like,
who's in that movie?
No one. It was a weird.
Well, how you was watching this movie?
Amazon Prime. They have like some of the worst
B movies.
Worst of the worst. This isn't the B movie. This is like an F movie right here.
Oh wow.
It's a Z movie. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, they just green screened those ladies in front of a thing. They didn't have enough budget. And then there was this one where she talks down a lady from committing suicide.
Oh, I know you told me about that movie.
Yeah.
The one like this guy who
pretends to be a black woman. People are like, oh wow, I like it. I'm like, he doesn't even change his voice. I was so dumb about it. Anyways, and people unanimously be like, yeah, this is probably the worst movie of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you think Cats is bad? See this movie right here.
I think Cats in that place is bad.
Well, Cats would be like what, number 2 because it had a budget and it squandered it like it was no tomorrow.
Yeah, squandered, but at the same time, kind of messed it up as well. Like the CGI was kind of shitty.
Yeah. Anyways, shall we continue now?
Yes.
Number 10. I'm starting off, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 for me is Klaus, the movie that's on Netflix. With the 2D animation for this one is something to behold. I remember I watched probably like the first 10 minutes and then like, okay, let me try something else. And then when I went back, because it was around Christmas time, I considered like, okay, well, this is going to be... At the end, I actually really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could probably consider this is probably like one of the best new Christmas movies I've seen in such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it got that feeling of Christmas so well. It's like it's basically the origin story of Santa Claus, and you find like, oh, there's a lot of funny little like, what if it was like this way? Like since he's got like, the postman was the guy who was supposed to be the Santa Claus, but that's why he delivers all the lore of like, oh, if you're not good, you get coal. Mm-hmm. Only because he was like going in that chimney and then he found coal and he didn't like the kid. I was like, whatever, you're getting coal. Mm-hmm. So that's a funny little thing. I like it. It's good. And you've got a very fun performance from Jason Schwartzman, which you don't see or hear from
that
ever.
Often.
He's just there. And it doesn't look like it's 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I mean 2D, but it is. They just enhanced it with 3D like special effects. And I hope they do more because 2D is just a dying, animation style. And it's great to see 2D because like we didn't get Castlevania this year, which is kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Castlevania, but you got Seis Manos,
Yep.
Just Castlevania-esque. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Do you have a 10 or?
Yes, I do have a
All
10.
right, what's your 10?
Us.
Us, me and you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I put that movie there because I realized is that I saw like a bunch of different movies, but like some of them like, oh, well, would they be my favorite? But like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly. That's how I feel.
it would not. And I just think like the movie Us was like, okay, yeah, it's not like Get Out.
Yeah,
and Get Out had that little.
This thing had a much more, what do you call it, ambitious idea.
Yeah, ambitious idea, and also it was like the.
Some people might not like it.
Yeah,
I know my friend didn't like it, so I was like, I had to tell him like, I like the idea of it. Mm-hmm. It's a thing.
But the idea of it is pretty cool. It just like kind of like the, like, kind of like if you saw, what M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Movie?
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong, yeah.
Like one movie that was like Lay in the Water. Lay in the Water was an interesting premise.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then realize like, no, it's not the main character. It's not the hero.
Yeah.
It's actually, it was like this geeky nerd. I think it was M. Night Shyamalan's character, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the movie. I saw it like the Nostalgia Critic.
I remember seeing it down. I remember seeing the Nostalgia Critic version. I saw that version of it as well.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, it was not like, oh, okay, it was a plot twist. It was like, and this movie had like a plot twist, and I was like, okay, weird plot twist. So this is kind of like a. It's like, hands across the world. Guess what? Humanity kind of ended, and now they replaced by their doppelgangers.
Yeah, it sets it out to be high concept, which I feel like I like the idea and concept of it. It did pull it off. Like I think it mostly did.
Yeah,
but
but it's just kind of like okay.
I liked it though. It was fun, and people just like to see anything Jordan Peele makes. And he didn't make a bad movie. That's the thing. This wasn't awful.
Yep. So,
anyways,
there you go.
Number 9 for me is JoJo's Rabbit.
Oh,
Why it's so close to saying like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Jojo Rabbit. I like it a lot. Taika Waititi, your boy, is really, really funny. He's got a unique style of telling things, and that's why I always see like when people say like, "Oh yeah, he's a Nazi," like when people say PewDiePie's a Nazi, and I'm like, he's playing a character, right? Like, oh, but he says those things, so if he says it, that means he does. I'm like, then why does Jojo Rabbit get a pass if do you think Taika Waititi is actually Hitler? It's like it's a joke, it's a parody. But anyway, but beside all that, I like it a lot because he's got a funny way of saying things. He'll bring back like funny callbacks to jokes that he did a while back, and see a newcomer, I forget his name, but the little kid, to actually have not annoying kid actors, I was like, hey, I enjoy that. You know, Scarlett Johansson is in this one. Stephen Merchant's in this one, which I really like. And it's a funny little story.
Sam
Rockwell. Rebel Wilson. I know you don't like her, but hey, she's funny in this one. And it's just I know it bounces back from like being funny to like heartbreaking to kind of meta commentary, but that's just Taika Waititi right there. He mixes all that. I know it's not like Thor Ragnarok where it's just mostly a comedy, a superhero, and action movie. But if you've seen his other movies, like Hunt for the Wilder People or Boy, it's more like that, where he mixes the drama in there. And if you don't like that, well, I don't know, man. I'm glad he's here to stay, though. Anyways.
Number 9 with me is Captain Marvel, which I forgot that actually did came out this year.
It did come out earlier this year.
Yeah, and reason why I say Captain Marvel was like pretty much number 9 for me. I was more interested in the side characters. I was more interested in the Creed. Was it?
Yeah, the Creed.
The Creed, because usually if you follow like the Creed usually be like not so like, oh, they like the antagonists. They really like, oh yeah, and they pretty much made them like, oh, you have to care about them. I'm like, no, I remember Super Creed. The Super Creed was a pain in the ass. He had all the powers of the Fantastic Four, all this stuff, and I was like, in the comic books,
Super Skrull.
Why did I say the Creed?
Well, I think he's part. The Creed's a race.
The Creed's a race. Sorry,
but Super Skrull is
the
his
Super
name.
Skrull is an
yeah.
It's the Skrull or something.
I mean, yeah. Well,
sorry, the Kree is a unique race, and you see Captain Marvel in here. Spoilers, but it's just like
no. Is that really a spoiler?
No.
Anyways, but yeah, I like
it. It's pretty. I have to say, seeing the Skrulls as try and be as regular folk and be like, okay, yeah, cool, no, be like this and that. But like, no, still don't respect them. Still don't respect them all. Be clones of us.
Yeah.
But then that they pretty much made. I understand this. There was a lot of controversy with the Captain Marvel because like they like erase all the negative like comments and shit like that. Which is like, man, it's politics, it's whatever. But at the same time, like, this is Brie Olsen.
Brie Larson.
Why I say Brie Olsen? Sorry,
that's. I think you're probably thinking of like Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah, Caitlin Olsen. No, Brie Larson's only good movie.
She did Room, which was good.
She won an Oscar for that one. Yeah, but I talk about as a.
She was also in Scott Pilgrim. If you're talking about main headline.
Yeah, main headline. Well, Room and this movie here. So okay, I understand. No, you had.
She was also in Free Fire, and I liked Free Fire.
And Free Fire didn't get no love at all.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I liked it, but no one watched it.
But it just like to me is Brie Larson's character. Like it had like the whole. To me, I think it took the whole '90s thing, and I did like it. And just seeing Samuel L. Jackson being Nick Fury, it's just bringing a hit. It's like, oh, Nick Fury 2 eyes, awesome. It's a great nod to that, and to see like, oh, how do you get that scar? Yeah. And then it's like that, and like, okay, that's cool. It just like had the whole '90s vibe towards it.
They should have gave this movie a little bit more time before Endgame, though.
True.
Because Endgame released like a month after.
Yeah, it did, and just completely fucking erase everything that you remember from Captain Marvel. Because like Captain Marvel, very fucking powerful. Yeah. And then you watch Endgame, you're like, she's powerful, but next you know. Yeah. Like smack.
But I did enjoy that movie too. Anyways. Number 8 for me is John Wick 3. Haha, Parabellum. If you want war. Boom, boom, shoot, shoot. Bang, bang, gun. It's a good movie. I really liked it a lot. And I'm so glad that John Wick has set the stage for, like, good action movies, you know? You want relatable action heroes. I still like part 1 a lot more because it's got the most simplest plot out of them. I like part 2 because they were really building the world at that point. Like, okay, this is how the world works now. And third one is just, hey, it's a third movie. You're gonna see some really crazy shit in there.
It's outside, quote unquote, New York.
Yeah, and John Wick's just had a very bad week apparently. Yeah, and this movie is just like weak. Oh man, John Wick, you can't live, can you?
You can't live. No, you can't die yet.
Yeah, I know. And yes, I love the action scenes in this movie. There's great, like, the fights, the ending was great. The beginnings, people keep saying, oh, the first 20 minutes were really, really good. I'm like, I agree with that. It's great. The rest of the movie is still pretty good, too. You know, he had that one fight scene at the end with, Bald Man. Yep. And he had, and the two guys with the raid, too. You can't forget that. Yep. And it does set it up again for a sequel. Because this is going to be a series now rather than just a trilogy of John Wick movies. And I'm glad for that because, sometimes you just need... It's not too dumb. There's still some smartness in it. But, you get the really well shot action, which I enjoy. And I'm glad that, shaky cam and, close-up action is a thing of the past now. We get nice wide action shots. I mean, some people still do the shaky cam and really quick jump cuts, but it just doesn't look... You can tell, like, that doesn't look good. Because that's what they did in Underground 6. 6 Underground. You see the editing in that, it's like a nightmare. They're like cutting to like 4 different things at the same time. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
What's going on? I got my head spinning. Stop it.
And this one, there's like nice long takes and, shots that you can see everything. And I like that. I'm glad that it's taken its time now. Anyways, that's my number. That's my number 8 right there. John Wick Parabellum.
Got you.
What's your number?
Number 7? Or...
Yeah, number 7.
Pokemon.
Oh, Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon, let's go. Let's go battle Pikachu detective, yo. I sat down, actually watched it with my daughter.
Hey, there you go.
And pretty much, I have to say it, seeing a
good video game
movie. Yeah. That had the potential, like, not had the potential, but looks really, really cool and make Pokemon look fucking scary as fuck.
Yeah. I know.
Look very fucking scary as fuck, and like this is a actually beautiful movie.
Yeah.
And actually how like the interactions, like, oh, Pokemon's just a normal, just like normal thing and everything else, and just like, man, that'd be cool to have a Pokemon, but at the same time, man, that'd be very strange to have a Pokemon, because you don't want them wild Pokemon to be out on the streets if it's like a big city like this
See a
in
macho
Chicago.
just walking down the street with 4 arms. You're like, what the hell?
Like, what the hell? And
also, some of them are literal gods, so that's just also kind of weird.
yeah, like just a Machamp just pretty much walking down the street holding groceries.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, how's it going, Machamp? Machamp. And also understanding the Pokemon language too.
Yeah.
It's just like, just treat them like normal day people, so it's like kind of weird. But this movie had to say, yeah, Ryan Reynolds like did the best role, of being Ryan Reynolds in this movie.
So he wasn't Pikachu, he was just Ryan Reynolds.
He was Ryan Reynolds
being inside a Pikachu brain.
Yeah, and just like, okay. But it has like touching moments like my daughter loves, and I have to say it. If my daughter loves it, I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good family movie.
So far, it's the best video game movie we've had.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not saying much, but to actually have it actually be watchable and not horrendous.
Yeah,
that's a good step in any direction right there.
Yes.
And if they do more movies in this style, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did it for Detective Pikachu, which is like a mystery solver. But if they did in terms of like the actual show or whatever, or anime, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, if they actually did
actual battles and stuff.
But then you have to think about like, okay,
what's gonna be the story for that?
What's the story for that? I don't want to do Ass Ketchum. Ass Ketchum suck ass. If you do fucking Red is a fucking better trainer. If you ask me which one's a better trainer, Red from the original series or fucking Ass Ketchum, fucking Red is the king of all kings. He the one who's freaking kick everybody ass. Ass Ketchum, he finally fucking won something out for last year or some shit like that. Being a 16-year-old kid.
It was this year.
No, it was last year.
Really?
Yeah. How is this year? No,
it's
2020.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, see? Bam.
Whatever. Last year. I can't believe that was last year.
Yeah, Ass Ketchum finally won.
Ass Ketchup.
Won something. As a 16-year-old kid, but 16-year-old kid.
Whatever, he couldn't even train his own goddamn Charizard.
Exactly. Fuck him.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you gotta take over your own things. That's what I thought was weird. Like, he raised that thing, and he's now not listening to him.
Exactly.
Where'd you go wrong?
No, he said him and Charmander was cool.
Yeah.
The second ball, Charmeleon one didn't give no fuck about Ash.
Yeah.
So he was like a teenager. So that's why he's a fucking bad trainer.
Yeah.
He's a fucking bad. He couldn't train Charmander.
Charizard.
Well, Charizard. And let's see, he had all the original 3. So he had the Bulbasaur, he had fucking Charmander, he had Squirtle. Yeah. He had those 3.
Plus Pikachu.
Plus your Pidgeotto.
Yeah. He also had Butterfree, which you gave away, which was really lame.
Yeah, Butterfree, which that was a fucking tearjerker, and he let it go, whatever. I understand, but fuck you, by the way, Ass Ketchum. But he had like all these different Pokemons. I'm pretty sure, he let them go in the wild, some random shit, then got some bunch of new Pokemons. And like, yeah, you the worst Pokemon trainer ever. You don't keep your fucking Pokemon, my guy. Anyways,
my number 7 is Knives Out.
Yo.
Knives Out, Lives Out. I really like this movie. It's a fun little whodunit, and we don't get. I think I said this before. Like, we don't get good mystery movies in the theaters. If you want mystery, you go to TV, and for the most part, TV does it somewhat well. You're like, oh, okay, a nice little detective caper done within 40 minutes. All right, cool. Because they always do that thing where like, oh, you're the killer. And then, like, you're 20 minutes into the show, like, that's not going to be the killer. And by, like, 35 minutes, you're like, oh, wait, never mind, he was the wrong guy. This is the guy. And then you're like, yeah, I guess, right? That's always how it is. Same thing with House. That's also always, like, a mystery, too. It's like, what is this guy suffering from? I know, it's lupus. And then they basically destroy this guy's health, and they're like, that's not. Which I always find funny. But, whoa.
No, is that...
What are you doing?
I'm not sure what series. No.
So yeah, so you got it's a very big cast of people. You got like so many people are playing their parts. You got new actress in there. She's pretty good in it. Got Chris Evans being smarmy and being an asshole, which is a nice refreshing change of pace. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and you don't see her a lot in anything. But it's always fun to find out, like, oh yeah, she's a huge nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh really? Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yep.
Okay. Michael Shannon, he's also really fun to watch in that movie. But I really liked it a lot, and there's a lot of really great monologues, great acting from people, and when you finally find out who did it, you're like, oh, now it makes sense. That's so funny. Anyways, yeah, that was my my lucky number 11.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your number six? Six
My
six
number
underground.
six.
Is it Six Underground? Number 6 is Six Underground. Number 5 is what's the number?
Ah, did I do number 8?
What's number 8?
Yeah, I didn't do number 8.
What do you mean? I did 10, 9, 9, 8, 8. John, huh?
No, I was trying to think. What was my 8?
So you had number 10 was Us. Number 9 was Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 was something.
Number 8 was
Detective
Pikachu. Yeah, that's number
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
8.
Yeah. So
that's
that's
7.
8. No, that was 8.
Oh, that was 8. So now you're number 7.
Yeah, number 7. So yeah, sorry, skip out because mine was Jojo Rabbit.
Hey.
That's why I was so confused because okay, yeah, Jojo Rabbit. You said as most. I did enjoy Jojo Rabbit. It is funny. It also seeing like
Taika
Waititi being as a Nazi as Hitler and how his as a little kid imagine to set Hitler is his best friend talking to Hitler and like that whole imagination thing is kind of was hilarious because everything was kind of involving like in that time frame like who should we blame Winston Churchill or the Jews and all this other stuff like everything was like that and like towards the even at the end was just like hilarious like to a certain point that like this little kid so want to become a Nazi and everything else and like during that time fan you could tell it was going towards like the end of the war and such and they like Norman Rockwell character just like well we may go win we may go lose but you can tell like within that time frame you see it like at their base it was like oh they have some of the stuff and then more and more stuff is starting to get not being there like you start cleaning up so oh we going to lose so you start packing up all this stuff right here so it's like feel like it's like oh I'm not sure why we keep doing this and it was like oh yeah do for the war this and that yeah be out there and like yeah sure do that while I'm packing all this stuff yeah get this kid what we doing do this kid know we are losing right now we not winning this war why are we in this war
yeah
but yeah just had that like nostalgia feeling of pretty much of that time frame but and also the German cuts of David Bowie Beatles and some other songs as well.
Well, they had 99 Love Balloons, which is you're gonna have.
Yeah, of course.
99 Love Balloons. Anyways.
Yeah, that's my number 7. But your number 6 though.
Number 6 for me is The Lighthouse. I like The Lighthouse a lot. It's got such a feel to that movie, and I only put this at number 6 because I know not a lot of people are gonna like this movie. It's gonna be either too highbrow, or you're just gonna be confused with what's happening in that movie, and that's why I always put it like if I like the movie and I'll put it at like number 1 and people don't like it, and then is it really good? Like I still say like personally if I feel it's good, it's good. But I do this thing here is like I feel it is good, but it's not gonna bust anyone's best movies of the year. I mean some people will say like oh it's the best movie of the year, but again, I'm more in front of like I really like this movie, but I don't think anyone else can like this movie, and I factor that in there because like you gotta have a movie that most people like, right? If you personally like it a lot, and people don't like it, you can say like you can still say it's number 1, but for me personally, like there's still some problems with me because I'm like they did kind of just it feels a little bit draggy. That's what I gotta say right now. Like it drags on. There's not a lot of resolution and all that stuff, so. It just happens. You're like, oh, okay. You're just kind of meant to accept everything with it, but I like the look of it. The acting is great from Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and it's very old school. With things like it's just 2 people living in a lighthouse. That's all you're gonna get, and there is moments of comedy in this movie, and that's kind of weird because it's supposed to be like super serious and all that stuff. But that's why this is the same way I feel like I really like Birdman, the movie that came out in 2016 or whatever. But my friend didn't like it. He hated it. And when I tried showing it to other people, they didn't like it either. And I was like, damn, okay. I guess I'm the only one that likes this movie, huh? I really like, but that's not like I'm not gonna complain about stuff like that. But if I feel like it's in the right spot. Like I did like it, but not as much as the other ones. Anyways, yeah, that's number 6. The Lighthouse. Check it out, and it's got Robert Pattinson. People really don't usually like him, but he's cool now.
Yeah,
he's gonna be in Tenet, and he's gonna be in the new Batman movie.
Oh, if that Batman movie comes out.
I know, right? Anyways, that was my number 6. Go ahead.
My
number 6.
Number 6 is
number 6.
The bean kick there.
Wow.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, that's fun.
I need a dumb movie.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much.
That's the dumbest movie you
That's
can
the
see.
dumb movie I've seen. I can't believe you're number 5, but okay.
Whoa. Hey.
But
let me live.
No, I can't let you live with that. I just now Hobbs and Shaw was a great movie. It was a great dumb movie. It was a good movie from The Rock as well, and Jason Statham. It was a simple premise, and they executed pretty well. And I'm pretty sure there will be a part 2.
Yeah, this.
And
I'd follow this more than I'd follow the Final Fantasy, Fast and Furious.
I don't think the new Fast and Furious movie. It don't want to go do numbers, but I don't think it's just not cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they turned it into something else. They turned it into like a superhero all-out brawl out, and these movies now, which I'm like, they're not supposed to be superheroes, but hey, I guess they're supposed to sympathize with them because they're lowly street gangs. Now they're doing freaking saving the world. What an evolution that is. From the first movie all the way up until 5, they've become pretty much superheroes. And then Vin Diesel, all of them, like, oh, yeah, he's the hardest one to catch. I'm like, you sure about that?
Are you sure?
But yeah, that was fun though.
That's my
Your number 5.
I thought that was my number 6.
Number 6. My number 5.
Yeah.
My number 5 to me is Uncut Gems. Why do you say no to this? Like, like you haven't even seen the movie yet.
I can't stand the Sandler.
Exactly. No one can, but he's actually made a fucking comeback. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Sell it to me now.
Same way that people did not like Robert Pattinson, but he made a comeback with Good Time. I loved Good Time because it's just that movie of just like you're just tense all the time. You're just like, what the hell's he gonna do? Same thing with this movie. It's all that it is. People are just yelling at each other all the time. Like, come on, you gotta open this door, and then it's almost always chaotic and always something's happening, or where like your tension just builds up. You're like, holy crap, what's he gonna do? And then he does a bad decision, and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? And then you just hope like, I hope this works out for you because you're just doing some of the worst decisions I've ever seen. And one thing after another, it's just Adam Sandler just trying to. He works in the gem district in like New York, and those people are kind of like scum, and they have to do some really like not good towards humans actions all that stuff, and you see it with him because he's just like, I gotta get this thing right here. And guess what? Kevin Garnett is actually a good actor in this movie. This takes place like I think in 2012, and
when he won is that when he won the championship or no?
I don't know. There's a basketball game in here which I actually feel very like committed to. I'm just like, oh my god, I hope he wins. And it may have happened. I don't know because I'm not a basketball guy.
So it probably happened in 2011, 2012.
Versus, someone.
No, it's probably 2009.
Lakeith Stanfield's in here and he's really good too. The Weeknd's in here and he's actually really fun, really good in it too. And Dina Menzel, she's the voice of Anna, or actually Elsa. She's in there too. She's pretty good. A lot of people are just giving her all the performances that they need, and it's just everyone's just it's one of those things where you feel so tense. You're just like, what's gonna happen here? It's an original movie, so that's why I really enjoyed it. It's made by these two young guys, the Safdie brothers, and after they made Good Time, they actually had the money and the funding to actually do this movie now too. And because it's funny too, because like when I saw this with Sonny, it got me on. We're like, you actually want to see this movie? That's weird. And he's like, yeah, I like Adam Sandler. I'm like, Okay. We watched it. He liked it too, because we were talking about like stress or whatever, and before we wanted to watch it, he was like, oh yeah, like I used to be stressful, but now I'm not anymore, and blah 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 blah. Then you watch the movie, you see it, and I'm like, you're lucky not that type of guy who lives on like betting and all that stuff, and gets you know really like excited about like I got all this money, but if I can turn it into a better bet, that's even better, and you're addicted to that style of lifestyle. And so I was like, yeah, I know, like I can't believe I couldn't imagine living that type where I'm always having it to like constantly lie basically. But I really liked it a lot. It's one of those very like high tension movies, and Adam Sandler, this like he when he does like at least serious stuff, it's like, oh, you know what, he's actually does good stuff with that too. I know he has not been in the public eye since 2015.
Well,
He has
in,
been, but he hasn't released like a live action movie in theaters. He's been at least the cartoon movie, which is Hotel
on
Transylvania.
Netflix.
Oh yeah, he's released the Netflix movies, but he's never released one again in the public, at least live action.
You mean like a big
Yeah,
theatrical
Pixels was his
release.
last.
Theatrical releases.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of
yeah. Pixels is his last like big theatrical release. People hated him after that, so he did all the. He did 3 like movies on Netflix where people were like, they were for the dumb people, but I don't know what his whole idea of doing movies is anything like that anymore. But whatever, I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good. Anyways, that was my number 5. So, anyways, you're
number 5.
Yeah.
My number 5 is, and it's just me taking a look at my work schedule for tomorrow. My number 5 is Joker.
Joker.
Yep.
Is it just me, or is it getting crazier out there?
I like that movie as its own like pretty much as a movie itself, not being as a comic book movie. I liked it how like pretty much the direction is. Yeah, there's a bunch of science movie, but it's like a different emotion. Also, my number 4 is the same as yours. So,
anyways, yeah,
but,
yeah, Joker.
It's interesting to a point that like pretty much just like, okay, I understand like the whole Walking Phoenix experience and pretty much being like it works in different waves and different emotion stuff. You're like, okay, cool, I enjoyed it, and a lot of people just fucking ran with it. Oh my god, this movie is like all time, blah blah blah. It's like, well, I appreciate the movie how it's supposed to be appreciated. It's a movie. It's this that doesn't like, if you pretty much take out the comic book themes of it and comic book references, you still will like this movie regardless of it of this. But then like, oh yeah, it's set before like like when Bruce Wayne was a kid, all this stuff, and here like the only thing I dislike is seeing Bruce Wayne parents get killed in the past. Okay, let's see, not count. Okay, so that. Okay, at the end of on the beginning of Batman v Superman.
Well, yeah, they did that.
And this movie,
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Also, they did it again. No, Batman Begins was not in like the 10s.
Oh, you're talking about 2010s.
2010.
Oh, okay.
So they did it like 3 times. Joker, Batman v Superman, and I want to say they did it in Justice League. They did a dream sequence about that, or no?
No.
Okay, so 2 times, but within my 20 years, I seen Batman parents get killed. In my whole life, I seen Batman parents get killed a whole lot of different times. Depending on the big picture, depending on the TV show, it's always Bruce Wayne parents always get killed, no matter what. It's always the same way. Some mysterious dude in the alley robbing his parents.
It's either the Joker or some other guy.
It's either Joker or Joe Schmo or some other guy doing it.
Anyways.
So yeah, but other than that, I did enjoy the movie. It's great.
Alright, so both our number 4s are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time and Hollyweird.
Yeah.
I like this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm. Me
people
too.
Don't like Quentin Tarantino because he does his own. He does his style of like he'll just do what movie he wants to do. You know, he doesn't follow the trends. He's not gonna do a superhero movie. He's not gonna do a biopic or anything like that. He just wants to make a movie that he likes to do. and this, and he loves old school Hollywood.
Yep.
That's the thing, and you'll see a lot of old school Hollywood in this movie. And this is pretty much his like antithesis of like, this is what I like, and this is, you know, I'm just gonna release it. It's got some of the biggest name actors I've seen in in this movie. Brad Pitt, and
Yes.
it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool guy. He's just like, hey man, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of he became the stoner guy again, like he was inside True Romance.
Mm-hmm.
It is really long, but
Yep.
that's the entire experience right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can take away a lot more from this if you know about Helter Skelter
Yep.
and the what's going on in Hollywood during that time, because you got to know a good knowledge of what's going on in Hollywood in the '60s, because this was like, you know, so many references to like, oh, here's The Great Escape, but it's got DiCaprio in it instead.
Yep.
How much we loved our old cowboy movies.
Mm-hmm. And that whole cowboy TV shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And like all the actors who pretty much play the same typecast themselves.
Yeah.
In different roles.
Yeah, there's like a moment in this movie where it's just them hanging out watching a TV show and commenting on it. That's like super real life right there. And then people are just like, oh, look at this, I'm doing this over here. Oh, look at this guy. You know, you don't see that in any movie, which I really like though. It's like, see, they're really fun to be around. And if you like, the thing is, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I don't have The Irishman on here.
Yeah.
Only because it's you gotta like those. First of all, you gotta like those guys. You know, if you like De Niro, and if you like Pesci and
Pesci,
Pesci, and De Niro.
Yep.
You gotta like those guys, and I do like those guys, and they give a great performance. But it's 3.5 hours long. I don't think it should be. It shouldn't have been that long. But hey, people really like it to be that long. So this movie is basically it's driven by the actors, and if you like the actors, you're gonna love this movie because we don't see a lot of DiCaprio doing comedies.
Yeah.
Last one he did was Wolf of Wall Street. It was not really
it's not really a comedy.
But there were still comedic parts he did in that movie. But this one's it is a drama, but it's more leaning towards comedy. And the style is great. The music is choice for it is great, and a lot of like foreshadowing in the beginning that pays off at the end. And it's like that was pretty cool. And I tell you right now, the ending is. Woo, that was fun.
Oh yeah, that was a fun ending.
Yeah. People, because you want that people known for like doing like really the violent movies, and like for the most part, it's kind of okay.
And the payoff for the ending for this is kind of great. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes, I believe so. Anyways, that was our number 4. My number 3 is Joker. Laughing all the way to the bank. So this broke records of being the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, beating out Deadpool. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. That's the thing. It was something that you don't see with the million of iterations of Joker out there. You know, the games, the TV shows, the other movies too. It's hard to be like, there's a different take on it. You know. And they actually did a different take on it. I'm like, wow, that's cool. They set it in the 80s. They made the Joker...
Not the 80s, 70s, man.
I thought it looked like it was the 80s.
80s, no.
No? No,
it was the 70s. Reason why it's not set in the 80s, it was set in the 70s for sure. 80s where you see more different type of clothing. 70s is more bell bottoms and more afros and stuff a little bit there.
I mean, I feel like that was the 80s, but...
Look it up.
Okay.
That's when I was like, it's not the 80s. Because the 80s would be something completely, really different.
When was Joker taking place? Also, that's why I said it was set in 1981.
Oh, 1981? Holy crap.
What is happening?
My watch is going on fire.
Yeah, that's nuts. It's people don't know. It's either 70s or 80s. People are like going back and forth on it, but
okay.
That's why it feels more like an 80s movie to me, but
no. I'd say late 70s, late like 78, 79. maybe 80s.
I
But
don't
that time frame itself, I think I could surely say is the
that's what I'm saying. People are like
90s, not
either the late
90s,
70s or
70s.
early 80s. So it's like, I guess it's that much. Okay, well, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They set it in a different time, not like the regular time,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the slow climb to madness this guy has. Obviously, he's not well,
Mm-hmm.
and because if it was taken kind of like now in this time, he would be a little bit more treated well.
Mm-hmm.
But in the brutal world of the America in that time, we just didn't care
Mm-hmm.
about people with that style. But yeah, it does have a lot of memes in this movie. People meme the hell out of this one, and I, for the most part, thought it was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those people who take that so seriously, I'm like, maybe not do that
Yeah.
because it's not supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, praised. At least I don't know. It's just a good movie, but you shouldn't praise it to the point of like I will follow this guy's way
Yeah.
because that's what the Joker wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just for the most part, he's just a evil villain. In this part, he's more of a tragic character because like it gives it at least more weight to the fact when he turns into the Joker. But yeah, I really like Joker. Came out earlier this year around October, and yeah, people going nuts over that one right there. Anyways, yes, that was my number 3. What is your? Wait, what were we talking about? Yeah, so number 3.
My number 3.
Yes, your number 3.
My number 3 is Far From Home.
Oh, Spider-Man, huh?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your Spider-Man's probably up higher, maybe, if you
What do you
don't
mean?
have it.
I gave it as my honorable mentions.
You did?
Yeah,
Spider-Man Far From Home?
yeah. I like the movie, but I'm not gonna put it up there as
I,
one of the best.
I put it up there because, yeah, the first one was a little bit more greater.
I like both of them equally.
But I think this one
had a good ending. That's
this
the
one
thing.
has a good ending, and it's very hard to replace Michael Keaton as the main villain and such. But I would have to say, Jake Gyllenhaal
as
Mysterio, like that whole plot twist of it is so fucking great, and also to make you think like Spider-Man actually like was like when he was facing against it, when they actually was facing against it, it was like damn, so many traps and so much shit that that Spider-Man can't get.
Yeah,
it just pretty much he couldn't trust because just like going a little bit spoiler details. It's like, hey, I can't my spy sense is not working because I see him as a friend, I don't see him as like a threat.
uh-huh.
So when that comes in play, it's pretty much showing Spider-Man as like Spider-Man can't trust his own senses, so he had to like pretty much rely on like overcome them. And I have to say it was fucking great.
Yeah,
and the surprise twist is kind of like what the fuck and like god damn, and seeing J. Jonah Jameson back, I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, this is like setting up for the future.
Mm-hmm. And then like pretty much just seeing like how the whole Sony and
that could happen.
It was like what the fuck year. And
that I remember when that news came out. Sony's taking back Spider-Man. I'm like, no, don't do that. And then people are like, oh, there's no way there's gonna be they're gonna come to an agreement and all that stuff. Like, well, they did because they want to listen to the fans more than they want to listen to the money. Which
follow the money. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was cool. Number 2 for me is Parasite.
I want to see that Parasite.
I know people. This is basically their number ones, and I understand that.
Oh yeah, my number one's the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I know pretty much it's gonna be that. But number 2 is Parasite. Yes, it's one of those movies where I did not know what the fuck was gonna happen, and I'm glad I didn't watch a single trailer for this movie, because all I saw was like on sites like Letterboxd or like Reddit, that great old site. People were like, "Oh my god, it's like one of the best movies of the year," but I'm like, really? And I just saw the poster. I looked at it, and like, I don't know what that's gonna be about. And then when it finally got released in the U.S., I think around the second or third week, I was like, I think I'll watch it now. And so I went and watched the movie, and I was like following it. I'm like, oh, okay, see what this is gonna go. But by the time like the end happens, you're like, holy crap, that was I did not.
Intense. Yep.
Yeah, it's intense. I did not expect that to happen at all. Everyone is fun in this movie, and that's the thing. I didn't even know what the basic plot twist of this movie was. Like, it was like it felt like, oh wait, okay, so they're just it's about a family, and like, oh, okay. And that's all I'll give it to you right there, because the best way to experience this is just completely blind. So you just watch and you're like, oh, that's what that is. And by the time they're going into like the second act, I'm like, oh, okay, I get, that's pretty funny. By the time like the third act rolls around, you're like, whoa, they're doing something else. That's pretty cool right there. And yeah, it's like one of Obama's favorite movies of 2019. It's a lot of people's favorite movie of 2019, and I completely can see why. But there's obviously gonna be one movie better than this, and call me freaking stupid or
Maybe.
whatever. Call me maybe, but well, I'll explain it when it gets to it. But yeah, you're number 2.
My number 2 is John Wick.
John Wick Carabelle.
You said earlier about the stuff about Mr. John Wick. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good action paced movie. Yeah, there's some. They have to fill out the story. Everything else. But like the first one was like pretty much basic. This and this and this. And then it made it a little bit like part 2, made a little bit stretch out more. And this one, it stretched out a little bit more. It had to pretty much go in more about his past, more about his stuff, everything else. About more, it just not take place in New York. It take place in all over the place. That John Wick is a fucking legend in these fucking streets. And also that he did have past interactions with these other people as well. Not just based in he traveled outside the city at one point in time in part 2. And he did it again in part 3, and also that he pretty much was working with other associations that he was known as JoJo.
Oh my god, John Jobrami.
As he was Russian.
Yeah.
Not just an average white guy. He was just Russian. And it was like, okay, and just give you like more about the mystery of that whole war itself, and just like that whole like assassins pretty much.
Yeah, and how their rules set up and
and also seeing that the guy from the Food Network, the chairman, he still could do some comedian gold to time to time, and his facial expression. I'm a huge fan, John Wick. Huge fan.
He was in Wu Assassins, and I felt like he was wasted in that show. Anyway,
he was in what?
Wu Assassins, the Netflix show with Iko Uwais.
Oh, okay.
The guy from The Raid.
Yeah, he also was in Double Dragon, the movie.
First one?
Yep. Oh. Well, there's only one Double Dragon movie.
Okay.
Like the first one, the only one. You look it up next time, the trailer of Double Dragon. You realize like, holy shit, that's a bad movie. The cartoon is also a bad cartoon. You know what? I will kick you. And they had I forgot I think he was playing this voice actor who always play like the snotty American dude. He was I forgot, he either played Billy or someone else off of Double Dragon. Then he got that role and made into he was playing Ken in Street Fighter cartoon. Played the same Nazi ass asshole type of voice, and I'm just like I couldn't stand that voice. Not just the sound couldn't stand because I don't know that person, but the way he was sounding so like arrogant asshole. I'm like I just can't. Just no.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Wick the Third.
The Parabellum. So I don't know if they're gonna call it like part 4 or just gonna be part 4. John Wick rides again.
Fights again. Dies again.
And I still say like
again.
The way it ends is so corny, but it just works. Where he's like, "You pissed, John?" And he's like, "Yeah." That's it. Like that's all you need. You don't need no snappy line.
yeah. That's it.
And that's a dialogue for most of Keanu Reeves in that.
Yeah.
It's like nothing cool like. See you in hell. It's more like, people are asking me if I'm back, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm back. It's like
Yeah.
you don't need cool epic lines at all. You just need Keanu Reeves doing his damnedest.
Keanu Reeves just pretty much like, yeah.
The fighting is somewhat realistic, but the dialogue is way more realistic. Yeah. Anyways, we all know what number one is. There's no hiding it anymore. I mean, it's broken so many things already. Number one is for both of us is Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. Fuck that price.
It's a worldwide phenomenon. You know, it took them 11 years to get to that point, and they finally did. And I've never seen a movie with this much hype surrounded with it whatsoever. I know people will probably put this number 5 or 6, and if you're like, oh, I'm a true film connoisseur, I put that number 5. It was still like, yeah, I know, but come on now. This thing basically was like you couldn't escape it.
No.
Everyone was talking about it. It was one of the movies to finally break the Avatar.
Yes.
And that took a while. Because it was like the fastest to get to $1 billion, the most ever it made in a weekend, the most ever made ever, and it just made everyone. It did the impossible. It gave everyone a satisfying conclusion to the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
Yep.
And me and Lauren were there.
From the beginning.
For the first... Well, yeah, we weren't there for the beginning.
No, I'm talking about just... We
watched it, yes. We watched it. If you could tell me, if after Infinity War... Let's say, we watched Infinity War, and then we just fell asleep for, a year. Woke up in the theater again the next year and watched it. That would have been... Those two experiences right there would have been the best movie-going experience I've ever had. Ever. That's what I feel like. I think the best part of it too, which was we watched it with a good crowd. Crowd was into it. Me and Lauren are usually muted when things are happening.
Yeah.
You know, we're just like, oh, okay, cool, I like that. But sometimes you gotta go with the energy of the crowd. They were so into it. Everything that you expected to happen did happen, and when it did, you were just standing up and cheering. It's good. Well, you're not standing up, but you were cheering. You liked it. It was a movie of our time right there, and it's crazy that we lived through that.
Yeah, it's very hard to try and reduplicate that feeling of that because that movie had a build from pretty much from working 10+ years
ever since the end of Iron Man 1 when they said I'm here for the Avengers Initiative. Then after that, when they set up even more for feature for Avengers, the first one. Which to court them is to court death, and then oh man, that right there, you were like, this is what we're getting right here. So many film franchises had tried to do this, the whole building a universe, making this whole thing. DC tried to do it, they failed. The Universal monsters tried to do it, they couldn't. They tried. The what do you call it? King Kong's doing this whole thing now. They said it. And I know if you're not a fan of superhero movies at this point, it sucks because that's just what the big bucks bring in. But they had their stumbles too. You know, they had
their downs.
They weren't perfect throughout the whole time. Thor: The Dark World. But ever since after that, I think they were steadily okay, this is what it is right here. Aside from the other stuff, because I know Ant-Man the Wasp wasn't gonna be top tier, but it still is a good movie. You know,
we all had the stumbles.
Volume
Iron
2 of
2.
Guardians Volume 2 was this is not top tier, but still is a good movie. They weren't churning out awful things. It's not like the Transformers series where you're just how is this even working? No one likes these. For the most part, no one likes these.
But the Transformers series, they trying to do a reboot, kind of like a hard, kind of like a soft reboot-ish type of vibe. And then, we gonna go back into the time. And when Bumblebee was what? Well, okay, you could make it Bumblebee a main character, but Bumblebee doesn't talk. Yeah. Did he talk in then? Bumblebee?
No, he did the same thing he did.
Oh yeah.
Well, he did in the beginning. Then his voice got destroyed. So he did the tape stuff. You know. Yes, I know it's kind of dumb, but like I said, it's amazing that first crowd we were in for Infinity War was basically just transferred into the next one, and it's the first time I've ever seen since like the Dark Knight, where everyone was talking about it. If the Dark Knight came out now, and with this age of memes and all that stuff, that's what I'm great, because that's what you got with this. Like, there's almost a meme every single minute that was transferred into the real world. Everything, like, I don't even know who you are. All that's funny stuff right there. And I thought it was gonna be more serious, but they still actually had the jokes in there. I know people will complain about like, oh, the beginning was really, was really slow. And I'm just like, what do you want?
What do you want after that big high at the end?
Yeah, I know.
The fuck, guys.
I don't know. That's why I feel like it. And it's basically just a big love letter to everyone who's stuck around for this point. And I've always said this time and time again, like, do you know how hard this would have this to do this type of movie, to have this many characters, to have actually at least a decent plot, and have all of them make sense and actually be good. That is doing the impossible, and they did it. And thanks to the Russo brothers, Marvel has now like $4 billion, like at least $5 billion worth of dollars in their bank, and they can do whatever they want now. And I'm glad they chose that, because I don't know, what do you want to think what a Joss Whedon version of Infinity War or Endgame would have looked like. Honestly, I don't know. Because of Age of Ultron, I remember I liked it, but goddamn, did they go hardcore with all the jokes and references, and I don't know. But yeah, that was it. That was number one. Actually, that's surprising. We actually went through like all the top 10, and we actually filled up all our time with this one.
There you go.
We'll probably do the next time was the upcoming movies, and also the decade review. We've been holding out on. It's funny to think like, oh man, that came out this decade, huh? I forgot. We will see you all next week.
Yep.
We'll give you all some really fun ear music.
Yes. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/the dead pixels of the internet. Yeah, and follow you on Twitter at Joe Manuel. And me at Broken Hexagram. Follow for some really dank memes. Yes. Your dank meme. I say stuff on Twitter I don't say on Facebook because I'm pretty sure no one cares on Facebook. No one cares. But on Twitter, everybody cares. Yeah. Also, what's YouTube channel? Dead Pixels Internet. Yeah. We'll keep continuing putting it up in there, even though YouTube's kind of in a state of what? YouTube is being YouTube. Go to our regular site, the dead pixels of the internet.podbean.com. Yes. You can like the page too at facebook.com/the dead pixels of the internet. You can, if you like the page, we'll get you we'll get you your name here. Exactly. Like our Patreon. That hasn't happened in quite some time. Yep. When was the last time we ever actually mentioned someone's name on here? It's been a while. Yeah, but do you want your name mentioned? Yes, you do. I know you do. I know you do. You're gonna like it. Yeah, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Go to our Spotify. We're on Spotify. Yes, we are. We're also on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts. Well, also on Android Podcasts. Yes, we are too. And Stitcher. I gotta check it on our Stitcher because I don't know what's going on. You still show up on Stitcher? I don't know. You don't know? I'm pretty sure we do. I set it up a while back and I just never checked in on it. Not like our Spotify, because Spotify is the more bigger platform. Yeah. Why don't you check it? I'll check it later. 1 billion views. Whoa. There you go. That was me checking it. Anyways. Yeah, we'll make sure this decade is fun for the rest of y'all too. Yes. Well, does that mean we're gonna be here for the next 10 years? We hope so. Yeah, we hope so. Well, we have to make it to 10 years with this podcast. Damn, can you imagine a podcast being around for 20 years? Yeah, Joe Rogan.
we should all aspire to be like Joe Rogan.
We shall.
This has been the dead pixels of the internet, ruining the picture of the internet since last decade.